All right, hello everybody. I've got a kind of an interesting one here for you. So this is 4020 Singleton. As some people may know, we're doing the Sorcerers Summit, paid entry, kind of like once a month. Do a $10 entry to the event with some amount of pricing. We like to that being it's self-sustaining kind of thing, but on the side, we thought it'd be fun and drive some engagement to do some wacky formats. So like this is a 4020 Singleton. I feel like Pathfinder's kind of the poster child for this one. So all the cards in both Atlas and spellbooks are one ofs. One common sense, one lugbog cat. It is very janky and kind of fun. Um, I'm playing water, earth, big dudes, I guess. Pathfinder gets to six pretty easily, and then I also threw some mixes in there and some cores, and just play a big, great old one and see how it goes. And then CJ is playing like a CJ list. I don't know how to describe it. It's a druid mid range, kind of with some good minions and what have you. But I just it's a really fun format, and I wanted to make an announcement or just a dedicated video to say join the Sorcerer Summit. If you didn't join this last round of event, you can just play this for free. There's a free group, free event LFG chat. I'll leave a link in the description. Build a deck, have some fun. Oh, and the prizes for this are some kind of probably some kind of dust reward, like some amount of dust. I'm pretty sure it's in the announcements if you go look, but I don't remember. So here, I play Lugbug Cat. He's not playing water, so it's kind of fine here. I have a mix into a Leprechaun, but next turn is going to be a great old one. Uh, I really had fun with this game. This was also recorded at, what was it, like 11:30 or midnight one day this week. So if there's some weird misplays, there's some weird misplays because we're both very loopy and tired. So Pudge Butcher in this kind of format is really strong because a lot of the removal is just not there. So you don't get like your common sense to bury very often. You can see I'm playing the bullfrog there just because like you need some way to deal with minions. I have Ice Lance, and to find minions to play is a bit of a stretch because once you hit like 25, 30 minions, you run out of quote unquote the good ones, and so you're playing Bullfrog and some other things. But here comes a great old one, drowning the spider and getting into attack with my cat. So I don't know. Playing a great old one on five always feels good, no matter what format you're playing. Um, the kettle top probably should have been on copes just because it's going to die no matter what, so who cares? Might as well get 2 damage out of it instead of just eating it for free. I'm also playing Craterize in this list because if I draw it, I can just draw a site for turn. CJ gets a wonderful ring, and so I'm starting to think of like, all right, I have a ring coming off of the Kelp Cavern, and it's like I need to get positionally closer to his avatar. Um, I have my big mana minion out, so it doesn't really matter about sights anymore. Now it's about position, um, and he plays a Kettle Top for a chump block, which makes a lot of sense. Eats my Kettle Top, and I draw my ring, and I have a Frontier Settlers, so I'm going to try to use Frontier Settlers to get to 7 mana, but I don't think it's really going to matter. So it's just more of another minion on board. Just stuff on board is always good. I have a Drowned, and everything's flooded off of the Great Old One, so gonna take care of that chump blocker there and hit for 16. Hell yeah! I can't tell you how happy it is punching. It makes me to punch with a Great Old One. It is still hands down my favorite minion in the game. The art's awesome. The 16 powers nuts. The flooding the realm. I don't know. Just I love the Great. That is just a cool card to me. I'll tone back the nerd. So I go over into Pudge Butcher. So I have a ring. I'm like, If he pudge butchers me for 5, that's fine. It pulls me closer to him. Great Old One is up in his face. I can trade into the Great Old One, or Great Old One into Pudge if I needed to. But here he has a Mirror Realm to copy my Immobilization Sight, and Cantrip to ping, gain a life, and CJ's trying his best to stop this giant Leviathan from punching him in the face. Trinket, gain a life. I have Ice Lance, so Ice Lance coming up is like, he has Bruin still, right? Ice Lance is historically a terrible card, but in this weird format where you have to play Ice Lance for a kill spell, if you Bruin says you have to take the damage. Bruin has to take the damage. And if you hit Bruin and the Druid, Bruin will take 4 damage from Ice Lance and kill. It's just it's like, why would you ever figure that out unless you're playing this weird format? Here he plays Sorcerers the Younger. Sorcerers is like that 2 toughness. If this was a 4/3 for 4, it'd be like so much stickier, and shooting things for 4 seems really strong. That 2 toughness is just so hard to get past because you have Ring, you have Deserts, you have Tawny to throw in things. It's so easy to deal 2 damage to stuff currently in the game. So here I get to Dorm with Gigantism and not my big Leviathan, so that's whatever. But it's still pretty fun to Gigantism your avatar. And then what do we do next here? Oh, Frontier Settlers does a thing, gets a Undertow, so that's kind of poignant because everything's flooded. I can move anything wherever I want. So Pudge Butcher is going to go underneath my Great Old One, so he can't hit me with Pudge until he deals with Great Old One, and that is a huge ask, especially in this format where there is no hard removal. I mean, there is hard removal, but you won't see it very often. Yeah. Sir Boris. Oh, this is a really cool turn where he's able to deal 16 to my my great Old One. It's a ring ping. Oh, actually, the ring pings don't even matter. So he grapple shots into the Great Old One with the trinket, so that's 6. Sir Boris shoots him for 4, so you're at 10, and then Pudge Butcher can at 6 then take care of the Great Old One. So he had to spend 2 cards, a minion, and a minion's ability to take care of it. But I mean, kudos to, like, that was I didn't think he was going to be able to get there, but that's a very very impressive. And then so this game, yeah, so next turn I'm going to use the Ice Lance and then use the ring to get him to kill him on door. And in this little bit of time between games, I wanted to take a half a second to talk about the state of Sorcery. And this is coming from a person who plays too much and plays it online almost every other day or so. And so I feel like there's take what I have to say with a grain of salt. I'm sure local metas are a little bit different, and I'm really glad to see local game stores and groups growing. Personally, our local store has about 6 to 8 pretty consistently, so that's awesome. But the state right now feels like the high level meta is, it's charge aggro. That's like very broad strokes there, or it's hard control. There is some mid-range stuff, but man, it is hard to make it work and make it viable. So over in the summit, we've had some conversations on what we can do to try to revitalize the meta, at least the highly competitive meta. I'm not talking like casual. So if anybody has any ideas, I'd love to hear it. Put them in the comments. Moving on to game 2. And this game 2, CJ gets to do CJ things and control movement and push my avatar around, and more Pudge Butchers, and this is very much more a CJ style game. I have Geyser because I know he's playing Spider, but in this format, Spider's really not that big of an issue because it's a one of. Um, this format also kind of has shown me that Common Sense, Spider, Divine Healing, like these common cards that have impact ignored, like higher than their ordinary their rarity, feels like they need some tweaking or like some other control around them. Uh, yeah, I'm not sure, but it's really fun to play minions and not have them immediately removed by a Poison Nova, Earthquake, Berry, whatever other your favorite removal spell is. And I think I'm on record that I love the mid-range game plan strategy in this kind of this style of game. The positioning, when the positioning matters the most, it's when I'm having the most fun. The puzzle of chess and cool cool magic minions is so good. Um, and here I have a Devulian Kraken that I never get to cast in this game because I get pushed around and moved around, and Pathfinder definitely takes a hit not being in air or some kind of extra movement deck, like with Roar Horse or what's the air +2+1 movement or something, or blinks or flanking maneuvers. But whatever. Uh, Boss Troll gets immobilized here, and here he has Rift Valley, but we kind of have a discussion about it. And Rift Valley, me left, doesn't really do much, kind of makes his site placements a little worse. So I think he ends up being a little less mana efficient and playing a tower to possibly to play a Pudge Butcher in my face, so I can't really move very well. I like this play. I understand that like holding a tower feels better than playing it when you're wasting the mana, but the power of Rift Valley pushing things around can't be understated. I definitely think that was worth the mana hit you get for not being super mana efficient. And I get a great Fey Changeling. Get to play my site for free, not free, but get to play my site without Pudge Butcher punching me. Um, I guess I could have got. Oh, I also don't have any movement, so that's why I didn't like go forward with my Rift Valley. I guess I could have gone to my right, but then I'm like in a weird position for Pathfinder's ability to like go left or right at 2. So just playing it to my 9 square there, and attacking for 3 and bouncing Pudge Butcher to hand. He does have the ring, and the ring in this match does matter a lot. When we get to the towards the end of the match, I'll explain why. But Fey Changeling, I don't know why I haven't played it more. I feel like I should be a tempo player, kind of like aggressive, not pure aggro, but tempo is very strong. In like you play a minion, especially when you're on the play. You play a minion, they answer it with a minion, then you can either trade or not attack or do something else. But Fey Changeling says nope, and now you have Fey Changeling and something else on board. I know it's just a 1/1, but even having a 1 power minion can set up like a gigantism thing. I mean, that's why Tawny's so good. She's always a minion for minion payoff spells. Like I've seen Tawny with some artifacts like Sword and Shield. It feels, I mean, it's still a little sketchy to have a artifact your opponent can use, but what were you gonna do? Get a Floodplain and a Ruler of Thule, and I'm thinking set up for a Ruler of Thule turn, but it's a little telegraphed. Playing an Amazon Warriors on my back row like this, that's not great. I gotta get a little better at that, telegraphing what I have in hand. Amazon Warriors in this kind of format feels really strong just because you need more, just solid rate minions. And here he blinks onto my site. I'm like, yeah, I get to use the frog. I've never gotten to use the frog in any constructed event, match just because its ability, while strong, uh, requires them to be on your site, and that generally means they've already punched you in order to gain value out of your minion, out of their minion. And so you play a frog to disable their minion, and if they have lightning bolt or whatever, it's just like doesn't do anything. I guess lightning bolt doesn't count. Or if they remove your minion somehow, it just comes back alive, and you have to have a minion to deal with. Where 3 mana could have just drowned the thing. Get kind of lucky with an impenetrable copes. Pudge Butcher can't hit me, and Tawny had a gigantism put on her to take me to get rid of my Amazon Warriors. Here, I really should have just played Sir Ironside on the Pudge Butcher instead of Bullfrog, for the reasons beforehand. And Sir Ironside is another minion on board that could help maybe deal with the Pudge Butcher. And then I just spend 2 mana to cycle Geyser. I am now kind of stuck in this corner as Pathfinder, so this Kraken in my hand is never going to do anything, but whatever. Unicorn, solid minion here, 3 for 4. I really like Earth on water stuff. Earth minions on water. They're just much harder to deal with because you don't have the common sense berry stuff. I'm speaking more generally now, not even in this 40-20 format. But Sir Galahad is an annoying creature. That 6 toughness is huge. It's got a big old butt. 5 mana is hard to deal with. 6 is almost like you can't effectively trade into that with minions. Similarly, Sir Ironside, and I played in a couple other games with this kind of format. Sir Ironside, 7 power and toughness on your opponent's turn makes this minion a nightmare to remove. It's like a removal check. But here I flip a Boneyard, and actually CJ doesn't have any minions in his yard yet, so I get a free Amazon Warriors. That's pretty sweet. I also have a Fey Changeling in my yard, so the way Boneyard works is active player, non-active player. So I think I choose, or no, your opponent chooses first, then you choose, and then when it goes to resolve, your opponent's minion will go in the realm first, then you can bounce that minion he chose to their yard. Oh, maybe that's bad. I don't know. But yeah, you can bounce things off a Boneyard. It does give your opponent a card, but say you needed something. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this. CJ moves up with his avatar. Why does he do? Oh, because he's going to use the ring and trinket to pings the Bullfrog twice with the trinket, and Tawny for the third one. Trinket and Shield Maidens, and I don't think I don't know. But so now I'm looking a little sketched with I have an Amazon Warriors on my back row, so I can't really apply pressure at all. I have a Helpful Hob in the deck, so I'm kind of like looking for that. So here I play Sir Ironside, and thinking, well, this is 7 power toughness on his turn, so he can't really attack with Sergelius or whatever it is, or if he tries to Pudge Butcher it, it won't work there. And I know he has a trinket and ring ping, but then if he wants to trade a Pudge Butcher into my thing, that's fine. But he rips a pretty good card. So I move up with my Pathfinder and Amazon Warriors to hopefully try to get him a door in a turn or two. I have 13 life, so I'm like a little sketched out. Let's see what he does here. Shield Maidens is also a wonderful minion include. It protects itself a little bit, so you have to deal 3 to it, so you can't. It's not susceptible to Vile Imps. It's also great into the ring, because the ring bearers will still gain a life, but it will nullify that ping damage over and over again. So it's a sticky minion other than hard removal. It also dodges Poison Nova, and also helps your other minions dodge Poison Nova. Shield Maintenance is a sneakily really good card right now. And so here he plays a Crusade, buffs his Pudge to 6, plays Trinket to 7, and then Shield Maiden's over to discount a point of hit or point of damage, and was able to trade into my 7/7. How frustrating is that? But yeah. Then he passes, and I think he gets. Then I get the Helpful Hob, and I'm 1 damage off of getting him to door. So 3 from the Pudge, or 3 from the Boss Troll. It takes him to 14, attack for 2 to 12, attack for 6 to 6 off of the Amazon Warriors and Pathfinder, and then Helpful Hob to untap Amazon Warriors and get him to 1. I got him to 1. Helpful Hob is a sneakily, like, I like to compare it to Grapple Shot, but it's even better than Grapple Shot, I think, sometimes. Maybe sometimes, who knows? Helpful Hob, you can attack for twice. Moth played a mid-range 4-power beater deck with Helpful Hob as, like, the quote-unquote combo. Any 4-power minion you have punches for 8, and it just hurts. That 8 damage can really swing the game. It's kind of like a Divine Healing on the reverse end. Like it has the same kind of tempo swing of just killing your opponent really quickly. And here he has an Earthquake, the 1-of Earthquake, so it doesn't like feel too bad, I guess. But I was so close, damn it. And then I think we talk about it and move the Hob over a little bit, and he takes care of that, and so he pings and gains the life. Yeah, and this is basically door. I have a Ruler of Thule in hand that can get him to door, but I got nothing left. I'm all out of gas. I'm at 7 mana. This Kraken is rotting my hand since turn 1. Good game to CJ. I hope everybody's enjoyed. Come over to the Sorcerers Summit, play some 40-20. We'll have some fun. Thanks, everybody.